bis auf sie bereitgelegt worden wären. Trophäe erhalten, eine Silberkugel. Stimmt, sie hat nicht mit Silberkugeln auf uns geschossen. Überrascht mich gerade ein bisschen.
You look tired.
Give me one good reason not to rip you apart right now.
Oh, da.
I won't miss next time.
Okay.
Before you do anything with me, I thought I should point out a few things. Snow White wants you to bring me back to the woodlands, doesn't she? And that's what I want.
That's right. But what happens to you once you get there is a different story.
I'm not quite finished. You will bring me back alive. Look, all
Das
I
war auch der
ask
Plan.
for is the chance to speak for myself in front of the community. And I'm sure Miss White would agree that I should be given a fair trial.
Ja,
Can we at least
oder
agree
nicht?
on that? I will have a trial. Are we clear?
You need to tell me right now. We're not going anywhere until I get some answers from you.
If you want answers, you're going to have to cooperate with me. Look,
Das
there's
widerspricht
reason
sich
for
gerade
us
so ein
to
bisschen mit dem
leave
ersten,
each
was wir
other's
gesagt haben.
throats
That's funny, coming from a guy pointing a gun at my head.
here. This is just a precaution. I'm sure you understand.
Ja, klar,
I'm
bestimmt.
no murderer, Mr. Wolf. I didn't kill those women.
Das
And
wissen
I
wir.
think you know that. All I'm asking for is a chance to explain my side of the story.
If you're not a killer, then what are you?
I'm a businessman, not a killer.
Ja, ein
There's still a
Mafiamann bist
lot
du.
you have to answer for.
And I will, as long as you agree to my terms. Because I'm not saying another word until I'm brought before the community. I don't mean to belabor the point, but just so we're clear, if you change your mind and decide to do something stupid, you won't get your answers. But you will have a difficult time explaining yourself to Miss White and the rest of this miserable town. You're
Hat er
often
leider
reckless, and I worry you're not thinking of the... Let me ask you an honest question.
Hä?
What do you really care about here? Where this case is concerned, I mean. Do you really want the truth?
This is about justice. I'm the sheriff. I have to do what's right. 2 people were murdered.
And you know who did it. Georgie. He's
Ja, und?
dead, isn't he? My point being, the killer has been dealt with. You've won.
Das Gespräch ist ein bisschen wirr, muss ich
Really
sagen.
think I'm that stupid?
Die springen
I
so.
understand you have an obligation to bring me in, but you can brighten up a little. It's over. So, shall we get going? I'd rather not dawdle.
All right, let's go. Hand over the gun.
I think I'd rather hold on to it, if you don't mind. What do you say? Hey! I'm sure Miss White will be pleased. Such a reliable pup. I understand why she'd want to keep you around.
You're under arrest.
Ich verstehe nicht ganz.
Trial in front of your peers.
Ich glaube, viele hätten ja anders. Ich bin ein bisschen
Your
verwirrt.
punishment will follow.
Also warum, wir hatten jetzt öfter die Möglichkeit zu sagen, nein, wir bleiben hier, wir gehen nirgendwo hin, aber ich habe das Gefühl, das wäre darauf hinausgelaufen, dem irgendwie weh zu tun oder so, oder halt, wisst ihr? Oder ihn zu töten sogar vielleicht. Und ich meine, wir haben fast alles, was wir brauchen, wir hätten jetzt nur noch ein Geständnis haben können von ihm, das hätten wir aber auch nur alleine gehört.
I know. But we
Keiner
have to
hätte
do
das gehört,
something.
keine
Are you fucking
Zeugen.
kidding me?
When is
Hätten
this
nichts
thing
damit.
happening? Are we sure he's coming?
Yes, you'll have an opportunity to. He's back.
The Crooked Man.
Thank God.
Motherfucker.
Oh, fast ganz Fable, oder einige von Fable-Town.
Are you okay?
Nicht ganz Fable-Town.
It's been hours. We were worried you'd run into some trouble. At the Crooked Man's place.
Well, he didn't make it easy.
What happened?
It doesn't matter. He's here. We got him.
We can talk about it later. You did well, Sheriff. I'm surprised. Not that you did well, but that, you know.
Das war's.
I'm just glad you made it back in one piece.
Aww.
It's about time you showed up. Now throw this asshole down the fucking well.
Yes, what are you waiting
Passiert
for?
dann?
You killed Lily!
She was my sister.
Could
What do
you?
you have to say for
Where the
yourself,
fuck do you get
girls,
off?
poor
You
girls?
think you have the right
And
to
what
just
about
do this
Faith?
to
What could
people?
they have
You're a
done to
fucking
deserve
crook!
Schild doch mal,
this?
was los bei
You should
euch?
be ashamed.
Shithole.
Everyone, can I have your attention?
Danke.
Thank you all for coming here on such short notice. I know normally we'd schedule a formal hearing, but considering the circumstances, I thought it best if we do this as soon as possible. The Crooked Man is charged with the murder of
As I
Faith
already
and...
informed your sheriff, it was Mr. Georgie Porge who killed those women, not me.
What? It was Georgie?
Georgie.
I don't mean to interrupt you, Miss White.
Georgie may have killed them, but you made the call.
Do I have to explain the situation to you again?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you're saying Georgie's the motherfucker who killed my sister? Well, where is he?
Yeah, you're gonna bring that shithead in too, aren't you?
Yes, Sheriff. Where is that rotten scoundrel now?
Is he still out there?
I sincerely hope not.
Well, where is he?
Sheriff?
Don't worry about it. It's done.
Justice has already been dispatched. Bigby executed him.
Stimmt auch nicht so.
Dead. So you see, the culprit has been punished. There's no
That
need
doesn't
for
change
this.
anything. We'll deal with it later, but right now, you're the one I'm concerned with.
You called the
Yes.
shots. Georgie made that perfectly clear.
In which case, you still have a lot to answer for.
I
And
was
I
told
don't...
I would be allowed to speak.
We have to read the rest of the
What
charges.
other charges?
If you'd wait a moment.
Let her finish. Then you can have your say.
Got it?
Ja.
If you insist.
Wer
You
ist
are
er
charged
eigentlich?
with the murder of Faith and
Also,
Lily,
aus welchem
which
Märchen?
Georgie carried out on your order, inciting violence against various members of the Fable-Town community,
Yes.
including the attempted murder of Sheriff Bigby Wolf,
Yes.
A misunderstanding.
aiding and providing monetary support for the forced prostitution at the Pudding and Pie. Additionally,
Yes.
you are charged with multiple counts of fraud, extortion, racketeering, and the illegal possession and sale of magical artifacts.
And kidnapping Crane at gunpoint.
He went willingly.
Yes. Thank
bestimmt.
you. Now, is there anything you would like to say?
First of all, I had nothing to do with Faith and Lily.
Ja, wissen wir doch jetzt.
Little record book.
Bullshit! Like hell you didn't.
Stop the charade. We know you're
Come on,
involved.
it's obvious.
And there's all the other crap he's done.
I know you're responsible. You've been behind all of this from the beginning. So cut the shit.
We all know who you are. We know what you've
Just
done.
give it up already.
The Crooked Man has committed crimes against this government and, most importantly, its citizens. These charges, if proven, are enough to justify death, upon
Ooh.
which your body will be committed to the witching
Where
well.
it fucking belongs.
That's
So
right.
let's get
But
on
we
with it
promised
then.
you a chance to defend yourself. And
Ja,
I won't
dann mach doch
rob you
jetzt
of
mal.
that right.
What the
You're
fuck?
really going
This
to
is
let him
about
talk?
justice. If we're ever going to pull ourselves together and make something of this town, we have to start doing things correctly.
Finde ich vernünftig.
No more snap judgments, no more secrets. We are going to treat everyone fairly, even when they don't deserve it.
This is ridiculous.
Aber warum müssen dafür die Handschellen ab?
You have the floor.
Thank
Jetzt fängt
you,
an zu
Miss
tanzen.
White. You've all
Schade.
met Georgie. I don't have to tell you what kind of person he was.
Immer mit seinem
He
Georgie.
was
Ja.
a total scoundrel, lacking in any sort of moral fiber. I hired him as a favor to his family, you see. A promise kept to a dying mother.
Oh,
Are you gonna
jeez.
get to your point or what?
Georgie was working for me, yes. But he was not acting on my behalf when he killed those women.
Das ist eine
It was his
Lüge.
business. And for whatever reason, I'm sure only he could understand, he murdered 2 of his most faithful employees. I had nothing
faithful.
to do with it.
Tell
This
the
is such
fucking
bullshit.
truth for
He's
once.
always been a bit of a powder keg.
If you were so offended by it, why'd you cover it up then? If it had nothing to do with you and your shit, then why'd you try to protect him for so
What
long?
cover up? I never made any attempt to hide Georgie's criminal activity from you. I learned of it myself
For
only
fuck's
recently.
sake. Any of you actually believe this bullshit?
Holly, please.
Tell them, Bigby, when you finally showed up at my door last night, wasn't I more than helpful? I
Ja,
answered
ist halt
questions.
leider so.
I was willing to cooperate.
What's he talking about?
Yeah, and your goons attacked me. Did
Ja.
you forget that part?
They get a bit carried away sometimes, it's true. Loyal to the end.
Wo sind denn eigentlich hier
Because they want
Tweedledee
to
und
protect
Tweedledoo?
me, as I protected them. You understand wanting to protect what you care about, don't you? You'd do anything. You might even give up an innocent man, just to save someone.
I really hope you're going somewhere with this.
I see, you want to cut right to the point. I can
Ja,
appreciate
bitte.
that. Let me explain this to you. My employees are just that, hired help.
Eben,
See some
Mafia.
here among you. They are not my slaves. They are all free to make their own decisions, as Georgie was.
What about Lily? She wasn't free. She wasn't given a choice. Do you really think she wanted... that any of those girls wanted their lives like that?
I'm sorry, Holly. I'm sorry that your sister asked me for help, and I'm sorry that I decided against my better judgment to give her a distasteful job.
Right, and you kept them in debt so they couldn't leave.
Yeah. That's what you did to us. How you kept us all
You
in
forget
line.
it was not me who put you in that position. You all act like I'm some kind of
Er ist halt sehr geschickt, aber so ist die Mafia halt, ne, muss man
Government
sagen.
abandoned you, left you poor and helpless, sniveling on street corners. I was there to look out for you.
Richtiger Gottvater.
Yes, but
Richtiger
Wasn't
Pate.
We didn't abandon anyone. We've been trying to help them.
Really? What about Auntie Greenleaf? Her story is not
seit wann ist sie da?
uncommon. She left everything she had back in the homelands. Everything that mattered, anyway. With nowhere else to turn, she came to me for help. And what did I do for you?
You got my tree back.
I got her tree back, and in turn we used her magic to help poor Fables get glamours. Because I helped her, she was able to make a living, provide for herself. And what did they do?
For the longest time, not much. But they asked me to come work for them.
Haha, gut, dass wir so
The
entschieden
deputy
haben.
mayor wants you on the 13th floor.
No. The wolf offered me the job. She wanted my tree destroyed. If she had her way, I'd be hung out to dry on a clothesline by now.
Toll.
What?
Aber es war nicht so.
you were gonna burn her tree? Snow, why would you want that?
Is that true? I know. Snow made a mistake.
I had very good reasons for asking you to do that. She was
Na.
working with Crane and the Crooked Man.
Das war ein Fehler,
It
Snow.
wasn't
Komm.
her fault.
You can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me. You hated Crane, and you hated him for wanting to fuck you, and you being too soft to notice
Oh.
what he'd do to get it. It had nothing to do with a crooked man.
We've made some mistakes. I've
Aha.
made some mistakes. But believe me, I truly want what's best for this town. And that may not always be clear right away. But I want you all to know that I care deeply about all of you. And so does the sheriff.
Yeah, right.
I can't promise you perfection. No one can. But I can promise to always have your best interests at heart.
Maybe you haven't noticed, but we've been doing all this to protect you. We're trying to stop people like him.
The Crooked Man's been exploiting you. Exploiting your hope for a better life.
Große
You would go
Ansprache.
to him for help, and he would take that weakness and add it to his strength. And if things didn't fall exactly his way, someone would die.
Do you really think the Crooked Man cared about you? He just cared about your money. He cares about your obedience.
They're right.
You're all still
Yes.
afraid of him, even now.
Alle müssen auf
But you needn't
unsere
be.
Seite kommen.
His contamination of this town
Yes.
is over. And those girls will have their justice.
Yeah. Geil, geil, geil. Boah, wie cool. Bisschen Gänsehaut.
Very good. Very
Und dieses
good.
ironische
The
Klatschen.
sentiment is surely appreciated, Miss White. But it doesn't disguise the fact that these accusations are completely unfounded. The sheriff simply doesn't have a particle of evidence linking me to the
Georgie was working for you. Bigby got a
A
confession that...
confession that nobody heard. Now, I'm no barrister, but I think such a statement would carry more weight if Bigby weren't the only one to whom Georgie spoke, especially given Bigby's history.
What are you talking about?
Snow?
You won't be able to talk your way out of this, Crooked Man.
What do you mean there's no evidence?
Maybe.
Er hat recht, ich hab's eben schon gesagt.
I mean, this doesn't feel right, how we're doing this. I just...
Of course it's right. This man tormented all of you for profit. Georgie
Let me
killed
just
him.
make sure I understand you. You're trying to say that I'm responsible for what Georgie did because he was working for me at the time, yes?
Yes.
Of course. Yes, you're responsible.
If I'm to blame for Georgie's mistakes, shouldn't Miss White be held accountable for Bigby's actions as well?
Like what?
How about the way he treated poor Tweedledee when he was in your custody?
Hey, wir haben gar nichts
Bigby
gemacht.
mashed apples while under your watch.
Das stimmt einfach gar nicht.
Maybe he's right.
Did you think we'd all just let that go?
You can't be serious.
That was different.
You're the one on trial here. Don't try to turn this around on us.
Besides, Crane was still deputy mayor when that happened. Right before you decided to kidnap him.
It was for his own protection. Oh, you're right, dear. Crane was in charge.
Wo ist
Sometimes
der
it's hard to
eigentlich?
tell the difference.
That's enough.
So, you won't answer for your employees' behavior, but I must perish for
This
mine.
is completely different.
I
We all...
did not order those two girls dead. It simply never happened. Georgie killed Faith and Lily.
Ja,
End of
ihr
story.
werdet mich hassen.
They want to scapegoat me for their own tangled
Aber
ends,
recht.
but they refuse to answer for their
Er ist
own
ein
crimes.
Widerling und ist ein Arsch, aber er hat recht.
This isn't the point.
We'll deal with them after we deal with you.
Listen,
Everyone calm down. This isn't
I
the
mean, a
reason we're
certain level
here.
of privilege should be afforded to
To
Tweedledee.
who?
This is how it's always been.
This is what I'm talking about. We lashed our ropes to this diseased world, and ever since, which one of us has been there for you? Who filled your lives with the promise of more?
Ah komm, wir waren doch gerade schon da,
Who
wo
was there while
das
they
alle bei uns
idly
stehen.
played in their towers, judging you, treating you as mindless children, too stupid
Haben
to
das
command
Handtuch jetzt
your own
wirklich wieder
destiny.
abgegeben?
Without me, who will pay your rent when you're on the verge of eviction?